So, like when you talk about machine learning, now as far as India is concerned, like majority of the ML-based roles for us as at an undergrad level are available at startups. So the reason being that ML is quite an evolving field. So there are not a lot of roles available currently. So it is something that is quite difficult to crack. But yeah, like majority startups who are like especially developing their own products have some great openings which you guys can apply to. So yeah, those are some things you can do. So basically, as far as startups are concerned, they generally put up messages on LinkedIn that they're looking for an intern, or basically they even sometimes they put it up on Internshala. Now, I personally have not had that great an experience with Internshala, but
Plus plus.
most of the times, most of the startups on Internshala are quite small in size, and yeah, like you're not sure if they are verified companies, if they'll be providing genuine work as well. So like quite a few people actually have been duped from that as well, wherein like unko kehte hai ki we'll give you a so and so stipend and they do not like एक महीने बाद वो company बंद पड़
Dude,
जाती है.
been
No,
there.
this is something I've seen people go through, so I'm just telling you right now. So yeah, but there are some good startups. So personally, I had interned at this company called Algo Analytics. So it's okay. It would be wrong to call it a startup. Really, it has like 200
Right.
employees and like around 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. But like yeah, startups generally tend to advertise it on their LinkedIn. So like as Aditya mentioned, like if you set your job openings according to that on LinkedIn Jobs, or even if you like follow the like hashtag internships, hashtag ML, and all those other hashtags on your LinkedIn, you will be able to see like certain openings from like such companies. And yeah, I mean, to start with, you have to start somewhere. You can't just expect ki Google or Adobe will
हाँ,
take you in. So like
वो
you have to
सबसे
start.
इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट है.
Yeah, so you have to
फर्स्ट
start
इंटर्नशिप
somewhere.
तो स्टार्टअप से कर सकते हो. यू शुड स्टार्ट फ्रॉम अ स्टार्टअप आई वुड से, क्योंकि
Yeah,
बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है एज एन इंटर्न. एंड वो लोग एक्चुअली कम लोगों को हायर करते हैं. सो सपोज वो एक या दो या तीन लोगों को हायर करेंगे तो तुम लोग को ज्यादा काम मिलेगा एंड बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है. बहुत वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस नहीं रहेगा टू बी ऑनेस्ट, बट इट इज अ जर्नी एंड यू हैव टू फेस इट. वो पर बहुत मजा आता है. लाइक इतना सीखने को मिलता है ना स्टार्टअप से, वो बहुत मस्त है.
yeah. So coming to intern like MNCs, so there are actually very few MNCs that offer these ML roles at an undergrad level. The reason being that majority of the ML so-called work, real that research work is currently in based in the US or like Europe. अभी India में काफी कम है as compared to those countries. So it is a bit difficult to land a role. And again, they tend to prefer MS PhD candidates more because machine learning, as you guys know, is a more research oriented thing. So for that reason, it is a slightly difficult. But yeah, there are roles for off campus. Like this was one of the like most like one of the perfect roles, like which I guess is like someone from PICT can get. The IBM Research offers a summer internship every year. So like this is a good program. Like IBM is an MNC and like they have a pretty standardized procedure. Like you have to fill out the form and like fill your preferences for projects and stuff. And like you guys can definitely apply to this. Now I think the like applications will open in November. Like even I had applied over here during my time. So like and MNCs have a pretty fixed procedure for hiring. That is, first you'll have a coding round on HackerRank or Hacker Earth, whichever platform these guys use, and then that will be followed by a technical interview and a HR interview. So like as far as off campus is concerned, like this is one of the better opportunities. I'll put this link in the chat box. You guys may like be on the lookout for this. This is a very good program. So like coming to the coding aspect of things, now generally these like the coding round or the MCQ round for these companies is pretty bare bones. That is, they ask you certain topics, like questions on certain topics. And the thing is that you cannot twist these questions. Like generally for SD roles, they would ask like a ton of DSA or competitive programming. They cannot ask that in machine learning because the concepts are fixed. Linear regression ko aur kitna ghumaoge? You cannot, right? So there is like a certain set of fixed syllabus that they try to cover. Basically, it ranges from all the way from linear regression to deep learning. So if you go on a website like this interview bit, you will find all the general questions like which they might ask you. And like yeah, it is a pretty straightforward process for getting internships at an MNC. It's just that sometimes they have certain factors, like they might bias you against which college you're from, or like they might ask you for some more things. But like generally they don't expect you to know a lot of things in depth for machine learning. But yeah, you need to know all the concepts, especially from a mathematics standpoint. Okay, when we talk about machine learning, everyone says हमको SK learn आता है, हमको PyTorch आता है. Please, that is not machine learning. You need to know the concepts from a mathematical standpoint for every role. You have to know all the
Uh,
maths, and that is what you are judged on. And yeah, you should know Python. Python is the most sought after thing. And yeah, coming to the next point, I think, yeah, what was the next point in the, yeah, it was unicorns. So okay, unicorns and MNCs kind of go hand in hand, but unicorns generally tend to be more open in hiring. That is, they are not prejudiced against you in any way, and they are more open, and like they are more practically oriented. That is, they want people who can do work for them. Now, I cannot think of any company which comes under this bracket currently, but
MPL, for example, MPL
oh
has
yeah,
just
MPL.
become an
MPL
MP
offers
unicorn.
machine learning roles. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like they are more, they care more about what you can implement, what you can do, rather than just whatever you have written. Not, they don't care about your like so-called theoretical skills. They care about how you are
Correct.
able to get things done. Now coming to universities. So
Anupam,
yeah.
before you go
Um,
to that point, so I just want to cover one thing. So suppose you are applying to all of these three things. They have this section of preferred qualification or preferred skills.
yeah, yeah.
So suppose you get selected for a particular company, say Zomato, for example. Now they'll show that they need these preferred skills. So before that interview, you can just study those skills in particular because they are going to ask you about those skills only. So that is just a way of filtering out that what they can ask and just focus on those topics then. For example, they want you to know convolutional neural networks. You can just study that instead of doing NLP, for example.
So like now ML is a more research oriented thing. Okay, like you can't expect it to be something similar to SD कि वैसे ही roles मिलेंगे. Rather, you will be expected to work on something that is cutting edge, that is something that is new, something that will keep on evolving. So generally there is a research aspect to things. So yeah, obviously universities offer a great amount of like research opportunities which you can work and apply to. So there is this amazing like GitHub repository I found. Like I'll put a link to this in the chat box. So it covers all the research, like undergrad research opportunities that are available. Like this is not just a like repo which contains opportunities in India, but it contains a lot of opportunities that are abroad, like based across the world as well. So yeah, the most notable being my tax. Okay, so my tax is this thing that is like sponsored by the government of Canada. So like every year, like a ton of people from India get into this. Like of course, I mean, it does not mean that the research outcomes are always that great. But yeah, I mean, you can get a fully funded research internship in Canada. And I think, yeah, the applications for this will start in September. So, like, please, I would say consider applying here. I mean, yeah, it is a great opportunity as well. I had applied to like some colleges such as like Caltech, Stanford, CMU, and like I had applied to all colleges that were in global top 50. But yeah, like it's there is a lot of competition. So like my tax is one of the, I would say, safer options. And yeah, it does look great on your resume. If you're saying I got a research internship in Canada wherein I got a funded research internship and I stayed in Canada for like 12 weeks, it definitely is adding some value. Of course, I mean the quality of research again depends. But yeah, like definitely do consider applying to this. Now coming to some other programs. Now sometimes these colleges tend to be a bit biased. Now I know it is wrong, but like sometimes certain colleges are a bit biased from the perspective of institution and your research experience. That is, sometimes institutes tend to prefer if you have a research paper or if you have been a research intern. So please bear this in mind. So there are some great programs which you may apply to. One being this research fellowship at ETS Zurich, which is in Switzerland. Then there is summer at EPFL. So yeah, these are some good colleges in Switzerland. And like I guess you can try googling this person, Shaunak Halbe. Like he's a COEP and now he has gotten into like Georgia Tech for his PhD. But like he managed to get a summer internship at EPFL. So like he had an amazing profile, and like yeah, it definitely, like these colleges genuinely care about the level of work. Like they are more biased to the work you do rather than what brand you have. It's like yeah, that is one of the things you should look at. Now, as far as Germany is concerned, apply to the dad-wise scholarship. So this is for like providing funded scholarship in Germany. Now, I was not aware about this when I was hunting for summer internships, but over here, like from whatever I have read, dad-wise scholarship is like purely on the basis of your GPA. So like if they look at your GPA and like you have a good like 9.4 or whatever GPA, well, immediately they like no questions asked. But sometimes they also have interview rounds. Like my tax is an interview round, and like sometimes some professors tend to interview you. Now, some colleges where like people from like Pune and like people who I know personally had gotten in include this program that is NTU India Connect. Now they did not take many people this year, but like Nanyang Technological University is the full form of NTU. It is this college based in Singapore and it has like a global rank of 12. Okay, so it is a very high rank college. So like this, like there are people from like VIT Commons who have gotten over here, and like if you have a decent amount of exposure before, you can easily get in. Like they are kind of biased to your GPA, and like definitely having a research prior research experience helps. And yeah, even Charpak. Now Charpak actually is like funded by the French embassy in India, but the thing is that over here you have to hunt for like colleges. You have to literally cold mail professors from some French universities कि मुझे यहाँ पे आपके top work पे I want to contribute, I want to help you, I want to gain some like insight from this experience. So yeah, like you have to cold mail. So this is kind of a painful process for Charpak, but nonetheless, you guys may try doing that. Then coming to like rest of these, you guys may experiment with. Like I had tried for Vitabi India, but again they were a bit biased. I felt yeah, like that, of course no one's stopping you. Like you guys may definitely try for them. Now coming to some great internships in India. So one being in Triple IT Delhi. Now Triple IT Delhi is a private institution, and it's not the Indian Institute of Information Technology. It is Indira Prastha Institute of Information Technology, but it is a very high ranked college, and there are some great research labs like my you've got Midas, then you've got L3SU or something. I don't remember, but like it has a great amount of research exposure. It's like generally you will find like a lot of posts on LinkedIn as well. Like professors generally put up links for this on LinkedIn. Ki we are looking for interns for our lab. So like you guys may try looking these up. Like generally all these colleges like IITs here, triple ITs here tend to put up certain things. Like if you just type like IIT Bombay internship, some page might open. So like वैसे करके you can try googling it out. Now some other notable programs include the Spark program of IIT Roorkee. Now, I personally had been interviewed for that, but yeah, I managed to crack IKDD, so I did not go in for that. So IIT Roorkee ka jo Spark program hai, it takes in like around 80 people every year, and it is a good program. Like IIT Roorkee has a good CS thing, and yeah, you've got also IIT this Surge program from IIT Kanpur, which is a good program. Then there is this one from IIT Gandhinagar. Now there are some other programs written over here as well, but like I'm not gonna be like pinpointing those out because I do not know anyone who's gotten into them specifically considering that we are looking at it from our perspective, that is PICTs. But yeah, you guys may try for it nonetheless. And yeah, like most notably, like I had applied to this SRIP, IIT Gandhinagar, Spark IIT Roorkee. Like these are some good, like from the research perspective, the professors for these programs are like amazing. So you can definitely apply for those. Now coming to the applications part, as far as like universities are concerned, these universities tend to generally ask you for like a ton of things. They ask you for your transcripts, they ask you for like your CV, like as compared to an MNC. An MNC only cares about your CV. They don't look at other things. But like when it comes to like interning at these institutions, they ask you for like a ton of documents. They even ask you for LORs. So you guys would for applying for like internships at such prestigious universities, you might need like an LOR or two at times. So you guys would have to ask, yeah, LCS2. Yep, Abha, thank you. That is the lab at Triple IT Delhi. So yeah, like you guys will also have to ask your professors in PICT for like LORs recommending you for a research program at a particular college. The reason being that they look at how well you've interacted with your professors and what kind of how you would fit in basically with their work culture is what they're trying to elaborate. Like applications for these is concerned, like my tax I think will start for summer of 2022. Like I think last year it was in September, I think.
सितंबर और अक्टूबर में होता लास्ट टाइम
हाँ
एंड
जो भी
वन
है
थिंग दैट आई वुड
या
सजेस्ट इज एक आई वुड से कि एक एक्सेल शीट बना लो एंड उसमें लिख लो कि कब डेडलाइन है, क्योंकि ये मेरा तो बहुत हुआ कि आई मिस द डेडलाइन, फिर बाद में यू रिग्रेट इट। सो एक कोई भी एक्सेल शीट मेंटेन कर लो, या जो भी जैसे भी तुम्हें मेंटेन करना है कि ये प्रोग्राम है जिसमें मुझे अप्लाई करना है, ये अभी डेडलाइन है इसकी है, तो इट विल बी अ बेटर मैनेजमेंट वाइज।
Yeah. And so, yeah, just one more thing I wanted to elaborate upon. So the Uplink program, where I got my summer internship. So Uplink is provided by the India chapter of ACM SIG KDD. So for those of y'all who don't know what SIG KDD is, it is this like special interest group which is part of ACM, which hosts its own conference every year. So SIG KDD is like supposed to be ranked as number one. So like if you look over your ACM SIG KDD International Conference of Knowledge Discovery and Data Mining, it is ranked as number one for data mining and analysis. So like it has a great amount of brand value, especially when you consider it from a research aspect कि आप research किस level पे कर रहे हो. And like they took in only 10 interns this year, so like again you will be able to say कि I was selected from so many interns as like part of those 10, and it is funded. So like yeah, definitely apply over here. So like you guys will generally have an interview wherein they will ask you about what all things you did, like what all projects you did, what is your like mindset really, what do you want to achieve overall is what they will ask you about. And like that's how generally all the interviews for these university based like research internships are. So yeah, oh yeah, there's also one more thing, like you guys may like there is this one thing called CS Explore by Google. Now I won't go too much in depth with that because I'm not aware about it, but it is a program which offers research opportunities for girls, specifically for girls. And like it is a funded intern like research program by Google. So like Google gives you a stipend and everything, and like it connects you with professors from certain great colleges such as IITs, NITs, or triple ITs. So like do like apply for that. Google CS Explore. So like it's not for boys, but yeah, you guys, like, girls may definitely try it out. So like yeah, I'll guess I'll move to the next point. I've digressed a bit too much, but yeah, there was a lot of content in this particular slide. I guess like you guys may ask more doubts on this later on, but like yeah, let's move to the next point. So stipend. So now controversial to this meme, free labor nahi lena chahiye. You should get paid, but the thing is ki it rarely so happens, especially because in India the roles as a fresher that you're bound to get for like an ML based role, something as fancy as ML, is quite low. I mean, initially it might happen that you might have to apply for like free or like unpaid internships. But then again, if it is unpaid, then you should also be able to judge the factor that if I'm applying to so and so thing and like they're exploiting me endlessly, the it kind of defeats the purpose, right? You're over there for getting a good experience, okay, on hands-on experience in the industry. So like it should not. So like you guys need to have this kind of judgment to see कि मैं यहाँ पे काम कर रहा हूँ and like what are the like outcomes of my efforts really. So like sometimes it might happen, generally it doesn't, but like yeah, these are some things you have to be mindful about. So like if you're working like continuously, if you're going to be working like 7 8 hours daily, obviously you should be asking for a stipend. But like if you do not have the relevant experience, if you do not have relevant work under your belt, like sometimes then yeah, I mean it doesn't hurt to work initially for free. But yeah, I mean over a certain period of time you should eventually start looking for stipend based opportunities. Like in fact all these research opportunities are also stipend based. Like MNCs also offer stipends, and even startups, most of them offer stipend, but like it is a bit difficult at times to get paid ones. So, but yeah, try to look for paid internships. But if not, it doesn't happen that way, go in for unpaid. But yeah, be mindful about these particular points.
Because initially you are kind of desperate, you know, that you want an internship, so इसलिए ऐसा मत करो कि बहुत ही ज्यादा हेक्टिक हो जाए शेड्यूल, ऐसा भी मत करो। इफ यू मतलब थोड़ा सा तो स्टाइपेंड होना ही चाहिए। इट्स
Yep.
बेसिकली इट शुड ऐड अ वैल्यू टू योरसेल्फ, जो भी तुम काम कर रहे हो कुछ तो स्किल्स होने चाहिए।
Yeah. So coming to the next point of PPO, pre-placement opportunities. Well, generally startups are bound to offer you such things. MNCs rarely happens because there are no MNC roles only to start with. But yeah, like if you've worked at a startup for like 6 months or so and like they know you fairly well, they are bound to give you a PPO. But like generally the thing is that ML based roles do not get a lot of good salaries, especially startups because they are smaller in size, do not give you that much pay as well. Like you might expect something like 7-8 lakhs to start with, like unless you're that exceptionally great. Like some, oh yeah, sometimes, oh yeah, there was this one opportunity the other day, 11 lakhs de raha tha, the startup sports team.
Right.
Yeah, so like it does, there are opportunities, but they are a bit difficult to crack. And again, they look for your experiences as well. Like if you are not that well experienced, it is difficult to crack. Whereas like SD roles, if you see, like if even if you don't have like any experience, but jaake if you're able to do the DSA thing, you are able to get in. But
This
that
is the
is not the
sad
case
reality.
for ML. Yeah,
Hmm.
you should have some experience. So like अगर करना है तो अभी से ही करना है. You need to get some experience under your belt right from now itself. So yeah, I mean these are some of the things. And again, like there are a ton of off-campus opportunities for PPOs as well. Like mostly, like you would have to hunt for them on your own. Like you'd have to go on like company websites and Angel List and all these various job platforms. But like yeah, you would have to search for them on your own. But yeah, there are some great opportunities out there, and like you would have to explore for yourself to get hold of those.
बेसिकली एट द एंड ऑफ द इंटर्नशिप वो लोग तुम्हारा प्रेजेंटेशन ले सकते हैं, डिपेंड्स ऑन द कंपनी एक्चुअली. सो तुम्हारा प्रेजेंटेशन वो तुम्हें इवेल्युएट करेंगे कि तुम्हें जो भी टास्क दिया था तुमने क्या काम किया, कितना ऑप्टिमाइज मॉडल बना, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. एंड ऑन बेसिस ऑफ दैट दे डिसाइड कि इसको पीपीओ देना चाहिए या नहीं. और एक्चुअली डिपेंड्स टू द कंपनी, कंपनी टू कंपनी. सो ये तो मैंने बहुत जनरिक बोल दिया, बट या अगर स्टार्टअप्स में अच्छा परफॉर्म किया तो फिर मे बी दे कैन ऑफर योर पीपीओ. एंड दिस इज एट द एंड ऑफ द थर्ड ईयर. सो तब तक तुम्हें यू कैन बी श्योर कि हाँ आई हैव अ बैकअप, और इफ यू वांट टू गो फॉर एमएस तो दिस कैन बी काइंड ऑफ अ बैकअप फॉर यू गाइस.
और अदर उतना इंटरेस्ट भी टिका होना चाहिए ना.
ट्रू.
So yeah, this kind of brings us to the end of all the content we were trying to cover.